What's going on, guys? Zanbono here, and today I'm bringing you my Madden cheat sheet. So you can find the cheat sheet down in the description below this video. It's going to be in a Google Doc, and I've kind of made a chart, and what we're looking at here is the base defenses of Madden. We're showing you how to identify each base defense, and then showing you which routes and which route concepts you can use to beat these base defenses. So hopefully this can help you dominate on offense and also learn the game a little bit better. So what we're going to start with here is what we call cover one defense. Now, in cover one defense, you'll notice right off the bat, we have one safety over the top of the defense. So there's only one safety, and the other one's probably crept into the box or maybe changed position into a nickel. So, now that we've identified there's one safety, you're going to see there are two corners, and they're both about 7 to 8 yards off of the line of scrimmage. They're playing rather deep. That is how we're going to identify that this is cover one. One of the best ways to beat cover one defense is to run crossing routes. A crossing route is where you have two receivers kind of running towards each other, but ultimately they're running in opposite directions. So here we're going to throw this pass underneath the defense to this crossing route that's highlighted in red. You'll see he's going to get himself wide open and get a pretty good chunk of yardage, and that's the ideal way of beating cover one. So there's another variation of cover one, and this is called cover one man. So basically the difference is they're now playing in man coverage right up on the line of scrimmage in press. So they're going to be playing right on the line of scrimmage in front of the receiver's face. We still have that one safety over the top of the defense, but the corners have scooted up. But this is still cover one. Now, the way you're going to beat this is with double moves. So a double move is where your receiver makes two different cuts within his route, trying to get himself open. So you'll see here these receivers are going to cut inside, and they're going to cut outside, and then they're going to go straight up the field, and we're going to be able to find Philip Dorsett here deep down the sideline for a touchdown. So he was able to use that double move to shake his receiver. One of the most basic and well-known defenses in Madden and in football in general is the cover two. This is what a cover two looks like. You'll have two corners, both in the flats. You'll have some people guarding over the middle of the field in zones, and two safeties. So to identify a cover two, you'll find two safeties over the top of the defense deep, and two corners that are both about 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. So they're kind of in between where you would find cover one and cover one press, where on cover one you might be 7 to 8 yards off, and press they're right up on the line of scrimmage. Here they're right in the middle, about 5 yards off. You can beat this with a flood concept. Flood typically has a receiver going deep down the sideline and a player running an out or a corner route kind of going towards the sideline, and it should be able to get in between the safety and the corner like I did there on the deep route, beating him with the flood. This is called the smash. It's very similar to the flood, and where I'm trying to beat my man deep but towards the sidelines and get in that space between the safety and the corner. So you'll see I will hit RB there in that sweet spot. So that is the sweet spot. We're going to run the verticals as well. This is a third option of how you can beat a base cover two defense, getting in between the corner and the safety, because that corner is not going to go very far off the line of scrimmage, and that safety is going to bail deep, leaving you a big hole in between the two, and I was able to exploit it there down the left sideline to Philip Dorsett once again. So now we're going to look at another formation. It's a variation of cover two, and this one you will see people run this all game long against you, the cover two man. So the difference between cover two and cover two man is you can see the linebackers in the middle of the field are now all in man, and so are the corners, and they've scooted up to the line of scrimmage, and that's how you can tell the difference. They're no longer 5 yards off, but they're up in press. You can beat this with a route that's called the Texas route. It's kind of like a 45-degree angle turned sideways, and it's usually run out of the backfield by running backs or tight ends, as I just ran right there. You can also beat this with a bunch formation. You can see on the right side of the screen, that is our bunch formation, where we have several receiving options all grouped really close together. It's usually about 3 players. You can find this out of shotgun. Sometimes you can find it out of pistol or out of single back, and it's in a lot of playbooks, all over in the playbook, so it's not hard to find. You'll see we just kind of moved our way down underneath the defense once again using that bunch formation. Here we are back to the double move. Now, we're going to have our tight end run the double move here because it's a good way to shake man coverage. So he's going to be able to find himself some open space by using moves and getting free from the man that is guarding him. So getting back to double moves again, and it's one of the best ways to beat man coverage, whether it's cover two man or cover one man. We're going to be moving on to our next defensive formation. This is the cover three. You'll notice the difference here between cover three and cover one is all the players in the middle of the field are also in zones, and they're not manned up like they would be in cover one. But they look very similar. You'll notice again, you have one safety over the top of the defense, and you'll have your two corners playing about 7 or 8 yards off, but you'll see they're both bailing straight backwards. So one safety over the top, 7 to 8 yards off on the sides, but the corners are bailing deep and everyone in the middle is in a zone. So one of the best ways to beat cover 3s, similar to how you beat cover 2, you're going to start off with a vertical route. Now, I love running deep routes like verticals when there's a one safety over the top, whether it's cover 1 or cover 3. It's just something I love to do. You'll see I found the sweet spot in between where the linebacker, the corner, and the safety, they kind of made a triangle, and right in between that triangle, I was able to hit them for a nice gain on the vertical route. Another way you can beat them is on the curl flat. You'll notice on both sides of the field, I'll have my slot or tight end running a flat, my receiver running a curl, and just wherever the linebacker or the nickel back decides to go, just throw to the opposite guy like I did there on the curl route. Another way to beat cover 3s with a pivot route, you'll see the 2 men on the inside running pivots where they will quickly go from running inside and turn directly going outside. So they fake running an in, just end up running an out route real short. Everyone's bailing back, and they were able to pick up some easy yardage. Cover 4. Now, cover 4 is a little bit different and very easy to recognize because you'll have 2 safeties playing deep, and both of your corners will be playing deep as well. So everyone's playing off of the line of scrimmage, and they're all bailing back because this is the way you usually use cover 4 to try and stop deep routes. So the key is to throw it shorter. One of the best ways to do that is if you run what is called a stick route. You'll see the tight end just kind of run like almost he's running an out route and just stop and sit down on his route, and then the other tight end's just going to run into the flat. Both of them should be open because everyone's bailing deep, and you can be able to pick up some good yardage with all that separation you'll have. Another way of beating cover 4 is by using a drive concept. You'll see your tight ends running here about a 10-yard in, and you'll have a receiver from the right side running in motion underneath the play, running a drag. Both of them will be open on this play. I decided to just try and throw what I figured was the easier route here underneath the coverage because I felt like he was more wide open. But either route would have worked there, honestly, and I think it's a great way to beat cover 4. The final way that we're going to be able to beat cover 4 here is by using a dig or post concept where we have the tight end running an in route and the B receiver running a double move deep down the field. We weren't able to complete the pass, but the tight end was open. It was just a poor pass on my part, and I threw it behind him. Had I led him in front of the corner, I probably would have completed the pass. So here is a cover 6. Now the cover 6 is a little bit trickier, but very easy to identify because it looks very different than all the rest of these defenses. You'll notice there are 2 safeties over the top of the defense like we've had in a couple other formations, but the corners are staggered. You'll have one corner playing 7 to 8 yards off the line of scrimmage, and the other corner is playing 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. So basically the left half of the field in this scenario is running a cover 4, and the right half of the field is running a cover 2. So we're going to be able to beat cover 6 with a shallow cross. Now here on the shallow cross, when everyone's bailing deep on the left side, we're going to go right underneath the defense and hit them where they have no defenders, so we get a nice quick gain underneath. Now for the other concept, we're going to use smash, something similar that we were using against cover 2. We're going to try and hit them in that sweet spot again between the safety and the corner like we did earlier. RB is going to find himself wide open and be able to get a nice gain in that sweet spot. Finally, the last base defense we're going to look at is called cover 0. Now, cover 0 is a little bit different and unique compared to the rest of these because it's not as easy to identify because it can come from very many different looks. Now, what's different about this is pretty much an all-out blitz. You might have 2 or 3 players staying in coverage, but typically both of your corners will stay in coverage, and maybe you'll have a safety in coverage as well. But pretty much everyone else is going to be blitzing. They'll most of the time have no safety help over the top, but because so many people are blitzing, you're going to want to get the ball out of your hands as quickly as possible. So one of the best ways to do this is by running a slants pattern. When you snap the ball, you see everyone running at you, get that ball out on a slant, get it to your receiver because they should have plenty of room to work, and sometimes you can make a big gain out of it. Another great way of getting the ball out of your hands quickly on a full-out blitz is by running a screen. I think this is pretty common knowledge, honestly. Get the ball out of your hands quickly, let everyone run upfield and slip right behind him with the running back. You can also use a vertical route if you're feeling a little risky and want to make sure you get the ball out of your hands fairly quickly, but verticals can really kill a cover 0. Something I did here is basically I set up a audible for the Bengals playbook. So this way I tried to think what 4 plays could I use that could beat cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 0. And that way I'd never have to worry about actually picking plays because when I got to the line of scrimmage, I could read what they have and just beat it with my audibles. I came up with using double moves, shallow cross, verticals, and a stick route. So here I'm going to show you guys a drive of me basically reading their defenses and trying to beat them. So I noticed right off the bat on the first play, they have 2 safeties deep, and they have both of their corners deep as well. So when I look at this, the first thing I'm thinking to myself is this is going to be a cover 4. We've identified this earlier. Now we're going to run that stick route, like I said, beats that cover 4. You'll see the tight end right there gets into that zone where there should be no defenders, and he gets himself a solid gain. So let's do a hurry up because all of our audibles are set to be able to beat any given play or look that we are given. It looks like right here we're going to be facing just a base cover 2 safeties over the top, and both of the corners are about 5 yards off of the ball, sitting right there on the first down markers. So we think to ourselves, what beats cover 2? Let's go with the 4 verticals because we know that that should be able to get in between defenders. So right there we find our spot in between where the safety and the corners are. Tyler Boyd picks up a nice gain and moves the sticks with the vertical route. Doing a hurry-up offense here, and we notice that they have 2 safeties, and both their corners are down in press, so this should be a cover 2 press man. So we know that cover 2 press man should be beaten by double moves, and I have Y corner right here run by AJ Green, where he will be running a double move pattern out of the slot towards the middle of the field. He makes that second move, I let the ball go, and he had the opportunity to catch it there. He just dropped it when the safety did come up and make contact. So you see the route worked. He just didn't end up coming down with the pass. So that's okay. Just to give you guys another look at this, the next play we line up, and they're giving us the same look. This is cover 2 press man once again. So let's go back to what we did last time and see if it'll work this time with AJ Green running that double move over the center of the field. He easily beats his man this time around and gets a nice chunk yardage up to the 21-yard line. We're knocking on the door of the red zone just using this cheat sheet that we have in front of us. Next play, we get up to the line of scrimmage. Again, they have 2 safeties, press man. We've seen this 2 plays in a row now. Let's run the same play. That Y cross, there you go. We have ourselves a nice gain over the middle of the field. Now we are first and goal on the 6. They line up in what looks like just a normal cover 2 with their corners just off the line of scrimmage, 2 safeties, and even though we're on the 6, just to prove that this cheat sheet does work, we're going to run a 4 verticals from the 6-yard line. Tyler Eifert's going to find himself perfectly wide open there in the end zone, and that's a wrap for the Saints defense. We carved them up with our cheat sheet. So again, the cheat sheet, you can find it down in the description below this video. You can print it off. You can use it when you're playing games like a play call sheet. So thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please press like. Feel free to subscribe. I'm Zanbono, and I'm out.